bullies poured superglue into her hair, forcing her to shave her head and causing chemical burns. But they had no idea what kind of mistake they were making, because she was not an ordinary girl. Emily Parker had just started 9th grade at Lincoln High School in Portland when her world fell apart. A slim and quiet 15-year-old, she was an easy target for the school's bullies. Being the new girl in a place where everyone had grown up together only made things worse. What nobody knew was that Emily had been training in judo and boxing for 6 years. Her father, noticing early on that his daughter was smaller than her peers and often mocked, enrolled her in a martial arts gym when she was 9. Emily turned out to be naturally talented, winning several medals in youth competitions back in Spokane. Fighting is for the dojo, not for showing off, her father always said. Real strength isn't about proving anything to others. It's about knowing your abilities and using them only when necessary. Emily kept her training a secret. At Lincoln High, she was just the new kid, practically invisible on good days and a target on bad ones. The worst days involved Tyler Benson and his sidekicks, Jake Palmer and Ryan Foster. Tyler was a senior, the star of the football team. Jake, almost as tall as Tyler, always wore a permanent scowl, while Ryan, the tallest, had an annoying laugh that echoed through the cafeteria. It started with shoves in the hallway, knocking Emily's books to the floor. Then came the teasing in class, snide remarks about her appearance. "Hey, Four Eyes, can you even talk? Speak up, we can't hear you," Tyler mocked loudly during class. Emily followed her parents' advice. "Don't stand out, don't get involved, it'll pass." She stayed in the shadows, ate her lunch in the library, and mapped out routes between classes to avoid the bullies. One day, as she was eating her sandwich, a shadow fell across her tray. "This is our table, new girl," Tyler said, standing there with Jake and Ryan. "I didn't know," Emily replied softly, gathering her things. "I'll move." "She speaks," Tyler announced loudly. "I thought she might be mute." Laughter rippled across the nearby tables. "Just mute," Jake added, reaching for Emily's glasses. Emily instinctively caught his wrist, a reflex from years of training, but immediately let go. "Don't get involved," she reminded herself. The quick move caught Tyler's attention, his eyes narrowed. "Nice reflexes. You think you're tough?" "No," Emily said as she stood up. "I just want to have my lunch." As she turned to leave, Ryan stuck out his leg, trying to trip her. Emily caught her balance, but her tray crashed to the ground, drawing more laughter from the cafeteria. "Oops," Ryan smirked. "Somebody's clumsy." Emily crouched to pick up the scattered food. Her face burned, but her fingers trembled not from fear, but from the effort it took to hold herself back. In the weeks that followed, things got worse. Her locker was stuffed with wet paper towels. Someone started calling her Mouse, and the nickname stuck. In gym class, she was always picked last. Emily endured it all. In the evenings, she channeled her frustration into her training at the Portland Judo and Boxing Club. Her coach, Mrs. Allison, noticed the change. "You're hitting that bag like it insulted you," she commented one evening. "Something going on?" "Just school stuff," Emily replied. "Bullies?" Emily shrugged. "You know you could defend yourself, right?" "Dad says fighting only makes things worse." "Your dad is a wise man. Fighting should always be the last option, but knowing you can defend yourself if needed, that matters." Emily kept hoping Tyler would eventually get bored and leave her alone. That hope died on a rainy Tuesday in October. She was standing at her locker when she sensed someone behind her, but instead of the usual shove, she felt something cold and wet on the back of her head, followed by a burning sensation spreading across her scalp. At first, she thought it was water, a cruel but harmless prank. But the burning worsened, and a thick substance ran down her neck. The sharp chemical smell hit her nose. It was superglue, stolen from the shop class. She reached up and felt the sticky, hardening mess. The burning continued, searing her scalp. Behind her, Tyler's voice rang out. "Looks like our little mouse got herself into a sticky situation." Laughter erupted all around them. Emily turned and saw Tyler holding the empty glue bottle, with Jake and Ryan filming her reaction on their phones. For a moment, the world froze. The burning on her scalp was nothing compared to the rage building inside her. 6 years of discipline fought against her instinct to strike back. "What's going on here?" Assistant Principal Ms. Reynolds pushed through the crowd. "He poured superglue in my hair," Emily said calmly. "It was just a joke," Tyler said, quickly hiding the bottle. "Benson, my office, now." Ms. Reynolds turned to Emily. "Get to the nurse, right away." The school nurse called her parents. Her mother arrived in tears and took her to the clinic. The doctor confirmed first-degree chemical burns. There was no saving the hair. It had to be shaved off along with the hardened glue. "We're filing a police report tonight," her father said firmly. "This was assault with a caustic substance. It's not just bullying anymore." The school suspended Tyler for 3 days. 3 days? For chemical assault? Her mother said in disbelief. "If Emily had done this, you'd have called the police." Emily sat on the couch at home, running her hand over her shaved head. She didn't care about her hair. It would grow back. What tormented her was the humiliation and the fact that the video of one of the worst moments of her life was now spreading among her classmates. "I'm not going back," she whispered. "Not until something changes." Her parents exchanged glances. "We'll talk to the principal," her mother said. "We'll demand real consequences." But Emily knew. Tyler was the football star. His family donated generously to the school. There would be endless talks about his academic future, and nothing would change. That night, Emily made her decision. Her father was right. Fighting should always be the last resort. But she had reached that point. The following week dragged on slowly. Emily stayed home, completing assignments her teachers sent online. Her parents fought with the school administration, which insisted that a 3-day suspension was appropriate for the situation. Her mother launched a campaign on social media. Justice for Emily spread rapidly through parent groups. A local Portland news station picked up the story, interviewing Emily's parents about the school's response to what they called a chemical attack. The story gained traction. A salon offered Emily a free haircut. Messages of support poured in. But the school remained firm, and the video continued to circulate. Some students even sent Emily taunting messages, calling her a crybaby for freaking out over a little joke. On Monday, her parents reluctantly let her return to school, but Emily insisted. "I need to do this." "You remember what we said about fighting?" her father asked. "I know, Dad, last resort." "If it comes to that, if there's truly no other option, we support you, but be sure it's necessary." Walking into the school felt like entering an arena. Conversations stopped as she passed. Eyes followed her. Her hair was now cut short. She had switched from glasses to contact lenses. She walked differently now, no longer trying to disappear, no longer slouching. 6 years of training had taught her how to carry herself with confidence. In literature class, she sat at her desk. When Tyler and Ryan entered, silence fell over the room. Tyler dramatically sniffed the air. "Do you smell something burning?" he said loudly. A few nervous chuckles followed. Emily didn't react. By Thursday, it was clear nothing had changed. The YouTube video of the incident had already gathered thousands of views. On Friday, during lunch, Emily was in the cafeteria when they surrounded her. Not just Tyler, Jake, and Ryan, but half of the football team. Well, look who decided to show up, Tyler said loudly. I'm surprised you even dared show your face, Mouse. Emily looked Tyler straight in the eye for the first time since the incident. I'm not hiding anymore. Big words for someone who ran to Mommy over a harmless joke, Tyler sneered. Chemical burns aren't a joke, Emily replied evenly. I don't want to fight you, Tyler. I just want to have my lunch. Fight? Tyler laughed. As if you could. I don't want to fight, she repeated, but I won't be your target anymore. Tyler reached for Emily's milk carton. Emily moved it away instantly. Too fast, too precise. Tyler's eyes widened, surprised. You know what? I think... Tyler's voice dropped, turning more menacing. You need a little reminder of your place. He nodded at Jake, who pulled out a tube of superglue from his pocket. Emily's stomach tightened. This time, no witnesses, Mouse, Tyler whispered. Just us, after school, behind the gym, unless you're too scared. 3 o'clock, Emily answered calmly. Just you and me. No friends, no weapons, no glue. A fair fight. Tyler's eyebrows shot up. You're seriously challenging me to a fight? Yes. The confidence in her voice sent a ripple of whispers through the cafeteria. Tyler studied her, then smirked. Your funeral, Mouse. By 3 o'clock, the entire school knew. Even the teachers were aware that something was about to happen. At 2:55, Emily made her way behind the gym. Half the school was already gathered there. Phones were out, recording. In the center stood Tyler, with Jake and Ryan flanking him. Didn't think you'd actually show up, Tyler shouted. Last chance to back out, Mouse. Emily took off her hoodie. No friends, she reminded him. Just you and me. With a grin, Tyler signaled for Jake and Ryan to step back. Won't need help, this'll be quick. Emily stood relaxed, giving away nothing of her training. Tyler began circling her. Let's see what you've got, he taunted, feinting a punch. Emily didn't flinch. Frustrated, Tyler launched a wild punch toward her head. It was clumsy, telegraphed from a mile away. Emily simply sidestepped. Tyler stumbled, nearly falling. The crowd buzzed with surprise. Stand still and fight, he roared, charging again with a flurry of punches. Emily dodged and blocked every strike, efficient and precise. After 30 seconds, Tyler was panting heavily. Stop dancing around and hit me, he screamed, attacking once more. This time, Emily countered with a simple leg sweep, sending Tyler face first into the dirt. The crowd gasped, then burst into a mix of shock and laughter. Tyler sprang up, his face red with rage. Lucky shot, he growled. That wasn't luck, Emily said calmly. We can stop now. Just leave me alone. The offer only enraged Tyler further. With a roar, he lunged again. Emily stepped aside, grabbed one of his arms, and used his momentum to flip him over her hip. Tyler crashed to the ground once more. The circle of students fell silent. The phones were still filming, but disbelief filled the faces of those watching. What are you waiting for? Tyler shouted to Jake and Ryan. Get her! The rules had changed. Jake and Ryan rushed forward, turning the one-on-one fight into a 3-on-1 assault. But Emily stayed calm. Multiple attackers were part of her advanced training. Ryan reached her first. Emily dropped low, sweeping his legs and sending him crashing down. As Jake approached, she caught his kick, flipped him backward, and threw him to the ground. Tyler got back up, circling, looking for an opening. Emily kept moving, aware of all three of them. She's like some kind of ninja, someone from the crowd exclaimed. The comment seemed to push Tyler over the edge. With a furious roar, he charged, managing to grab her in a clinch. He tried to overpower her with his size and weight, exactly the wrong move against a judo fighter. Within seconds, Emily reversed their position, taking his back and locking in a chokehold, not fully, just enough to make her point. Surrender, she whispered. It's over. Tyler resisted briefly, then froze as he realized how trapped he was. Emily felt the moment his will broke, his muscles relaxed, his resistance fading into defeat. She released him and stepped back, giving him space to get up. Tyler stood slowly, his face a mixture of shock and humiliation. "Who the hell are you?" he whispered hoarsely. "I'm the girl you bullied for 2 months," Emily said evenly. "The girl you sent to the hospital with chemical burns. The girl who asked you many times to leave her alone." The circle of students was silent. Many lowered their phones. Tyler looked around at the sea of faces, the phones capturing every second of his defeat, and something inside him seemed to collapse. Without another word, he pushed his way through the crowd, leaving behind his jacket and what was left of his reputation. Jake and Ryan exchanged uneasy glances, then followed him. The crowd slowly dispersed, buzzing about what they had just witnessed. One of the girls from Emily's literature class stepped forward as the crowd thinned. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" "I've been training since I was 9, Emily answered simply. "But it was never about fighting. It's about discipline and self-defense." "Why didn't you do this sooner, back when they first started bullying you?" "Because fighting should always be the last resort. I tried everything else first." The following Monday, Lincoln High felt like a different place. Students who had never spoken to Emily before now greeted her in the hallways. Teachers watched her with a mixture of concern and respect. Tyler, Jake, and Ryan were absent. Tyler's parents transferred him to a private school after both videos, the Superglue incident and the fight, went viral. The video of the glue attack now served as evidence in the formal complaint Emily's parents had filed against the school. The fight video had transformed Emily from mouse into something of a folk hero among the students. Later that week, the principal called Emily to the office. She expected to be suspended or even expelled. Instead, she found her parents, the district superintendent, and the school's legal counsel waiting. Rather than punish her, the school officials wanted to discuss how to move forward constructively. The viral videos had triggered a crisis for the school district. Parents and community members demanded answers as to why the Superglue assault hadn't been dealt with more seriously. "We recognize that there were failures in how this was handled," the superintendent admitted. "We are implementing new anti-bullying protocols." "A little late for our daughter," Emily's father remarked. "Yes," the superintendent agreed. "That's why we're here. We want to make this right." Making it right included covering all of Emily's medical expenses, officially recording that she had acted in self-defense, and asking for her help in developing the school's new anti-bullying initiative. "You've shown remarkable restraint and maturity," the superintendent said. "Those are exactly the qualities we need in student leaders." "I'll help," Emily replied. "But this has to bring real change, not just for show." In the following weeks, the school underwent a transformation. The anti-bullying initiative brought real policy changes, teacher training, and a peer support system. Emily became central to the effort. She even started a self-defense club with Mrs. Allison from the gym as the instructor. One afternoon after practice, Ryan, who had returned to school the previous week, approached her. "Hey," he said awkwardly. "Hey," Emily replied, cautious but not hostile. "I wanted to apologize. For everything, especially for the superglue. I should have stopped Tyler." "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because I've had a lot of time to think about why I went along with everything Tyler did, and I didn't like the answers." He looked Emily in the eye. "I was a coward. It was easier to be on his side than to risk becoming his target." Emily nodded. "I understand better than you think." "Anyway," Ryan continued, "I signed up for your self-defense club. If that's okay." "I think it might be about more than just fighting," he added. maybe it's also about having the confidence to make better choices. That's exactly what it's about, Emily said, extending her hand. See you Thursday. The burns on Emily's scalp healed, and her hair began to grow back, but some changes were permanent. She carried herself differently now, no longer trying to disappear. She spoke up in class, joined clubs, and made new friends. The martial arts skills that were once her secret had now become something she openly shared, teaching others not only techniques, but also the philosophy, respect, discipline, and understanding that true strength isn't about dominating others. Sometimes standing up for yourself changes everything, not because violence solves problems, but because finding the courage to say enough transforms not only how others see you, but how you see yourself.